Okay, so we're running a little bit behind today, so hello to anybody that's going to watch this later on YouTube or is going to jump into the stream here. A couple of people forgot what time this was going to all start, so we're going to get right into it. Can you guys see the Honoured beer? You should be able to see that in game at the moment.
Yeah.
I think your mic might be open, Finley. I can see your avatar moving. But I can't hear you speaking. So either you're speaking and we can't hear you, or your mic's open.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's right. Push to talk.
That's alright. I just saw the avatar moving, so I was hoping you weren't like muted, but you had the push to talk down. You're like blah 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 blah. We can't hear you.
Right. Yes. My gosh, I keep forgetting about. I forgot about that last week too.
All right. So brief recap. So last week you guys all did a little bit of a tour of Honoured Beer, though realizing quite quickly that a tour of Honoured Beer would take quite some time, being that it's quite a big city. I think that Tobith had a lot of fun, though he didn't manage to get the knife and fork in his pocket that he wanted right at the start.
Not quite, but next time.
Next time. Was there anything that stuck out for you guys last week in terms of like what happened, like what you remember, etc.?
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
we
I mean,
learned how diverse the city is
Sorry, they got
compared to like where we're from.
Ah, yes, very, very much diverse compared to Kryn. One size fits one. So at the end of last week, you had gone back to the Red Cloaks and had asked them all work, and they had given you a suggestion of 2 different things you could take on, and you decided that you were going to go and look for one Byra, who is a young halfling who fancies herself something of a adventurer, and has gone out to hunt a Manticore. Now,
yeah.
you were put Baron on the map. Where are you, Baron? There. You were told at the end of it, which I didn't get to last week, but you were told that she had headed out somewhere past Willow Creek, and when you were all like, "Where's that?" Because we're not from here, they were like, "Oh, like seriously, guys, it's like a day's journey, kind of up to the northwest. Can't miss it. Go on the main road, take a right, you'll find your way there." And so we will start off the day with you guys travelling up to One Willow Creek, which is a fairly well-known area of the place. One sec. Sorry, I'm going crazy now in my old age. So this area around the coast is probably, well, it's not the most populated on the continent, but it's definitely one of the safest in the continent at this particular point in time. Lots of patrols of red cloaks and other guards and stuff like that. Lots of people travelling along the road. Not a lot of room for brigands and stuff to do their thing. So the journey to Willow Creek takes you past a whole lot of farms to your right and the river to your left, and by the end of the day you find yourself in Willow Creek, which is
Sorry, AFK, gotta grab a phone.
Yep. For some reason not linked in the actual thing, so I'm going to blame the converter for that one. Oh, no, there it is. It is linked. I was wrong. I did link it. So Willow Creek is a small settlement of farmers and woodcutters who make a decent living by selling their produce mainly in honoured beer. At the moment, that's all there really is. It's a fairly simple town. It has an inn, which is just your normal sort of serves alcohol, serves food, and has somewhere to sleep for the night for those that are willing to pay. And beyond that, it's a fairly simple walled fort sort of town. As you enter the town, you meet a ranger by the name of Rowan, who looks like that. She greets you, points you towards the inn, and when you ask, she does confirm that Byra did come this way some days ago and had headed off to the northwest further into the forest to look for a manticore. Rowan had offered to go with her as she knows the woods very well, but Byra had been like, nah, I'm good, like, I know what I'm doing, I've got this, so she let her go, basically, because she had her own stuff to deal with. It is now, however, night time, so it's up to you whether you stay at the inn or whether you decide to go off into the bush at night.
How much does the inn cost per night?
It's a really good question. What is the standard inn prices? I think this would be what we would consider not squalid, but it's just above that. So I'm trying to remember those off the top of my head.
I suppose it depends on the setting and all.
Yeah, I would
But
say
from my understanding, yeah,
I've brought it up. So
like
poor would be the quality of it, not squalid. So just one silver piece each per night.
Well, I suppose that sounds reasonable. So, can Yeah,
Mm.
it's not
Can
too
you
bad.
introduce
Introduce us to the innkeep, Rowan?
She's on her way out. She's going to do some hunting, so she just kind of points you towards the inn over there and says, just I don't even know his name. Honestly, I don't really stay in town. I just kind of, I'm on the village council, but I spend most of my time in the bush hunting and doing all that sort of stuff.
A ranger named Rowan, kind of like a baker named Flower or a wizard named Boom.
I don't know how to respond to that.
She raises an eyebrow at you. Like, okay.
Well, it's like calling you a tree.
She's never heard of a rowan tree.
Finley kind of makes a face like I don't know that's true, but all right.
Well, then
It
there's not
isn't?
been rowan trees here. You're not in Kansas anymore, Totos.
I guess not. Well, the inn has a roof and a bed, and sounds like a good place to stay.
And I didn't make up anything for it because I didn't think about it, and it's not in the book. So the innkeeper's name is Rybold.
Sounds good.
Because that's what I went with. Rybold, and he's a jovial, middle-aged ex-adventurer. Because aren't they all?
Of course.
Well, we can just do the generic stay at an inn.
Yeah. This is the Baldur's Gate 1. You've just hit rest. A little campfire things come up. And fortunately for you, you have not been waylaid by enemies, and you must not defend yourself tonight. um, you can role play anything you wish if you wish. It's as fairly standard in as you say, with just local loggers and stuff coming in for the night who have obviously been like chopping down trees all day and just want to get as obliterated as possible to deal with the fact that every day of their lives they go out and chop down trees.
I feel like Finley probably feels quite at home here.
Yes, it would be normal, like a fairly similar, not quite the same as Solace because the buildings aren't up in the trees, but yeah, you'd be very familiar here. Baron, less so.
Yeah,
And
Baron's not used to all the foliage.
Tobith is at home wherever Tobith happens to be.
Absolutely. Although these big guys coming in, they kind of look like trees. They're big men. I'm not used to seeing lumberjacks coming around.
Halfway through the night, they
Yeah, as we.
start singing a song together when they're all drunk. Can anybody guess the song?
I'm a lumberjack and I'm
Yeah,
okay.
that's the one.
Yeah. My brain immediately went to the Seven Dwarfs Hi Ho, and I was like, that's probably not it.
No, the lumberjack song from Monty Python. Um,
Of course.
If nobody's paid yet, I'll cover the parties tab for the
all
night.
right, there
Sure.
we go. Tab is covered. So yeah, for fairly uneventful night. You have a drink and a meal, and probably, I mean, if you want to get obliterated too with the lumberjacks, you can feel free. But in the morning, you need to get up and go
Absolutely.
find. Well, that's just normal. Next morning dawns, and as Rowan said, there's some forest to the northwest um, that is where Byra was heading, and most likely path to follow her trail.
I will say, as we enter the inn, I did want to talk to the group and say, when we head out into the woods, allow me to take front. I think I can. I think I might be able to track down the Manticore without too much trouble. I I know my way around the woods, even though I'm not necessarily familiar with these specific woods. I know my way around this kind of terrain.
Yeah, sounds good. I've got no qualms with that.
Yeah, you taking the lead sounds like a good idea until at least we see spikes the size of chair legs.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about any chair legs,
No,
as it
but
were.
that'd be the manticore. They got
Oh,
big spikes, don't they?
yes. Um, would I? I'm familiar with Manticores, right?
Let's actually check because I don't know if there'd be many around Solace area. I'd say you probably heard of them, but if you know anything about them, let's give me a nature check, please. Which I'm assuming you're pretty good
Oh
at.
yeah, yeah. Let me. Oh yeah, 20, 30, 20.
You've actually written a treatise on manticores, detailing all of their many uh, features, including this, the big spiky tail that will inject poison into people and kill them dead.
Well, yes, they do have pretty nasty spikes on their tails that could, if they hit you, inject some really nasty venom that could very easily kill you. So, that is certainly something we should look out for.
Definitely. Right, right. Spikes, poison. Yes, yes. Classic manticorn.
Manticorn, I love that. All right. So the day dawn, and you head off, and I will get everyone to do a perception check, and then I will get a survival check from you, Finley.
Sure thing. Since it's my favorite terrain,
Yep.
I can't remember. Does that give me
Advantage on the
advantage
check.
on it?
Yep.
Okay. So both perception and survival is what you wanted me to roll,
Yes.
or just the survival? Okay.
Perception and survival. Perception is for everything else. Survival is for a specific thing. You would also have advantage on the perception as well as the. Yep. All right. You've already done that.
Thank you.
Come on. Let's see if you can get that 20. Nah. But that's good enough.
So close, but yeah.
All right.
So,
you don't see anything
I will say,
particular.
sorry.
Sorry, you.
I did want to say before you talked about, I wanted to use, since I took Monster Tamer, I did want to use the Monster Tamer magic. Wait, not magic. Feature. Sense Beasts. You can detect hostile animals and monsters. Since the direction, the highest challenge rating beast monstrosity, and I can tell the distance from myself as long as the creature is within 1,000 feet. I want to use that as soon as we get into the forest, see if I can't suss out where the Manticore might be.
All right, that sounds like a good idea. So you come up to what is called the King's Forest because it's the King's Forest, and you start using your honed senses to spot anything, and you do. You let's see. So it was beasts and monstrosities. Can you link the actual
Yes,
ability,
monstrosities.
in the chat so that I can just have a quick look at it because I don't know it off the top of my head.
Yeah, let me see. It's like, how did I do that again? I'm trying to remember.
If you click on the ability, they're right next to close on the text box. There's the little add to chat button, and if you just click that, it'll link in chat.
Toad is going to poke around on the ground and pick up a pine cone. Could this maybe be manticorn poop? I'm not quite sure, but it's spiky.
I'm not sure. I've never really heard of or seen one. Is it just like a spiky corn monster?
All right, so can both of you give me a I don't know nature check? We'll go with nature. Both of you give me a nature check. Baron is actually convinced while you're tasking him this that it is manticore poop and that manticore poop is spiky and wooden. You do realize after picking it up and saying this that it is actually just a pine cone, but whether or not you let Baron know that is entirely up to you.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm not
Finley
going to change
glances
anything
over
at
at
all.
it. Finley glances over and just shakes his head.
I feel like I'd be, raging around too if I had to excrete that. That looks like it hurt.
Yeah, I knew just by the feel of this thing that it might be manticorn poop. It's not just a pine cone. I think it's a manticone, maybe.
Right,
um,
yes.
I'll stick it in
Finley
my
trying
pouch for a
really
very
hard
long
not to
time.
laugh.
I'm going to put it in my pocket and carry it along just for comparison later.
Alrighty. So yes, you hone your senses in, and you realize that you can sense a not just a monstrosity. You can sense the direction, location, highest challenge rating based on monstrosity, and you can tell the distance from you. Yes, you do sense a monstrosity. Well, I mean, how does that actually work? You sense a direction to the location of the highest challenge rating beast or monstrosity. It doesn't mean you know what the challenge rating is, though, does it? Oh, that's not how I'd read that.
Yeah, I don't imagine.
Like, because
Yeah.
it's not
No,
like
I think you
sit
just know
there.
that there's something big nearby. Like if there was bears around or
Yeah,
if there were weasels around, you might not detect them in the presence of a manticore.
yeah. All right. Just it could be taken as I know this is a CR27. It's just in my head. So you do sense a monstrosity within 1,000 feet of you on the same path you're already traveling to the northwest. It's only about 500 feet away from you at the moment. The forest is a little
All
bit
right.
too dense where you are to see that area, though. So you know.
All right. I will, as I sense that, I will look to my companions and hold a hand out. Pause.
Oath takes his hand.
Before Finley, just momentarily surprised, just kind of lets it happen. Like, okay. Um, um,
I'm here for you in
looks.
case you get scared.
I appreciate that, Topeth. I think I'm all right. What I wanted to say though is I do sense something rather big. I am assuming it must be the Manticore. About 500 feet in this direction here. The woods here are a little dense, so it might be a little challenging for some of us to get through without a little assistance. But and he pulls out uh, his his leaf bow, and using the blade on it, will start, you know, carefully cutting his way through the dense brush.
Alrighty. Now, I apologise for the map I'm using. The grid isn't quite square because there wasn't, again, not a map for this particular one, but close enough. Alright, so it doesn't look like the brush is that dense, but it is fairly dense. And as you get through to, say, we'll go about here. I will unfog that area too.
Okay.
Eventually. There we go. You would stop everybody because ahead of you, you see a dense area of webbing, which I will show the token and then show
Oh
unfoggle.
boy.
Can you see the big white circle?
I
Sure
do in
can.
fact see the big white circle. Yes.
Yeah, so you see this humongous area of webbing. You judge that it's probably about 50-meter radius, 50-foot radius of webbing.
About 30 feet. Okay.
Yeah. It covers a significant portion of the forest. You can walk through it. It is, of course, difficult terrain because it is webbing, and you will need to probably roll things at some point.
All right. Um.
I might be able to get rid of it, but it'd probably alert if anything's in there.
Well,
Let's see.
you, as
Oh
you
well, difficult terrain doesn't slow my group during travel.
what sort of difficult terrain specifically?
That's right. It doesn't specify, but at least in my wait, let me see. While traveling for an hour or more in your favorite terrain, you gain the following benefits. And the first thing is difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel. in Natural Explorer.
Probably be different from like the difficult terrain would probably be like the normal land as opposed to something that's put here like a web. I would think.
Yeah,
I think it depends.
that would be a fair ruling.
I think it depends on what the web is from. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
um,
think that's a fair ruling.
we'll just leave that as it is for now, because you happen to see, as you look ahead, not just Byra, but also the Manticore she was after, both stuck in the web. The Manticore is trying to thrash, but its wings and stuff are all pinned to its side. It can't move, and she's pretty much the same at the moment. She's sitting in there, just like trying to get her arms out, and she's just covered in web.
Well, I am unsure if you are also seeing what I'm seeing, but I don't think the Manticore is the worst of our worries.
Okay, so what's the plan? Rescue first, poke it with fire, negotiate with this angry lion thing. I'm good at talking.
I don't. I don't think the Manticore. Well, the Manticore looks to be just as trapped as our halfling friend, whatever that means. And I'll definitely point out both the Manticore and our charge.
Well, I've got something I can do, but it'll be loud.
Would
Is
it
that more of your magic
endanger?
stuff?
Would it
Yeah, remember
endanger
what I did to the tunnel?
anyone?
I could do that to the Manticore and the web.
Sure. I'm a little. I'll be honest. I'm a little worried about what could trap a Manticore.
Can you guys,
Um.
since you're having this conversation, can everyone give me a stealth check, please?
We're good at those. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well,
there he is.
I got a dirty 20.
Right, but there he is. Old Baron Loud Hands. Like, not sure about that Manticore
Oh
over
no.
there. Oh, what's going on with that? Manticore, look at it. Loud as he
Oh
can in
dear.
the middle of the forest. So the Manticore starts thrashing around, and even harder, and you see its tail come loose from the web. And you guys are going to need to roll initiative now.
Well,
Could
I think that's not
So,
a good sign.
can you...
I was gonna ask before I can just do it on my turn if need be, but I was gonna ask if I could go ahead and activate my fists.
is that a reaction, action, free action?
Action.
Let's see how you go on initiative, and I'll make a call on that. Alright, I'll give you that. 15 is high enough that you were probably aware of what was going on a little bit beforehand, or where you were being loud, and you probably just like flame
Okay.
wand.
Yeah. He'll just clench and his fists from like probably like his forearm down to his fists flash silver with steel.
Bit like the metal guy from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Well, not just metal. He can turn into anything he touched. Alright, so Finley, you notice this Manticore starts thrashing around its tail. Byra's stuck. She's panicking a little bit now too, because she's seen the tail pop out. What you gonna do? Because it's your turn first.
Oh boy. Does it look like I might, if I like aim an arrow just so to shoot through the webbing that's trapping. What was her name again? Shoot,
Byra.
Byra.
Byra, yeah.
Byra. Okay, yeah. Would I be able to at least help free Byra?
It'd have to be a pretty good roll, but yeah, should be able to.
All right.
Like
Well,
you're gonna have to be
I,
able to basically shoot specific parts of web to free her arms so that she can free herself.
yeah. I do have sharpshooter. If that may or may not help me, I don't know.
Well,
Let's
definitely that's
see.
the only reason I'd say yes to this is because you have sharpshooter. I will say though that
Okay.
if you roll a 1, you hit
It's
her.
good. It won't look good. Yeah. Okay. Well, I feel like I should at least try because I don't want her to get uh, pummeled or eaten by the Manticore any, because she's kind of right in the path between the Manticore and us. So I'm going to take aim and try to shoot at least to free one of her arms, and hopefully that will give her a little bit improve her ability to free herself. Okay, that's a total of 22.
Yep, okay, I'll give you that. You manage to hit a piece of the web. I'm not going to worry about damage for that. That's connecting her right arm to the webbing, and you see her arm come free, and she's able to start moving. So that will give her advantage on her check on her turn to get free. Is there anything else you
Okay,
would
and
like to
then
do?
I would like to use my bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark on the Manticore.
Alrighty.
What I think that looks like for Finley is it just kind of a little bit of a rippling of energy, like vines curling around his target and then disappearing
Alright.
as if like being absorbed by the target.
Sounds good. Alright. I always imagine a downward pointing arrow like the hunter in WoW, but you know.
I mean, yeah.
All right, so that's your turn. Unfortunately, Stingfang is now next, and he sees this arrow go flying through the air, and he turns around and he flicks his tail at you. Sorry, the Manticore. Manticore. I don't know. The Manticore flicks his tail at you, and a tail spike comes flying your direction. How far are you? Nope, no, 65 feet. So there's plenty of room, plenty of distance. Rolls a 25 against your armor class, which, by the way, it has a +5 to its attack. Just to give you the idea there that was a critical hit, as a tail spike comes flying out of the air to hit Finley.
Oh dear. Okay. All right. Well, that definitely hits my armor class of 15.
9 piercing damage as this tail spike comes flying like an arrow towards you, and ow, my me. As it can't actually move anywhere, and it took its action to do that, that is its turn. Byra is absolutely crap and bricks right now because she's still trapped in there and just saw the spike come flying through the air, so she is going to attempt a strength, which I could roll with advantage, but she rolled a 20, so can't really roll higher than a 20. She manages to free herself
Nice.
and to move out and comes towards you guys. Oh no, sorry, she'd only move 15 feet. She's not quite out of the web. Actually, she just made it out. That's cool. And that was her action, so she doesn't do anything else on this turn. Except for to look at you and say, thank you. Baron, it's your turn.
Of course.
Alrighty. Just to ask, because I misheard. Did Finley's arrow like embed into the Manticore?
No, Finley shot the web that was holding Byra.
Oh, okay. My bad. Okay. That's where I was getting misunderstanding. In that case, what I'm gonna go ahead and do, just to help out Topeth, since he goes next, I'm gonna step up to here, hopefully to block off Finley. And I'm going to raise my shield, because I'm thinking my shield's gonna be alongside my amulet, one of my like holy items that I cast through, or at least what I'm using as my somatic component.
Yep. Makes sense.
I'm gonna raise it up, and uh, Baron he's still not really a traditional cleric yet, so he's just going to concentrate really hard and cast a spell. I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt on this Manticore.
You'd assume at the moment what happens is you think that you want to do something, and then you see the words, the movements, the components sort of just kind of like flash across your vision when you want to do it, like because your magic is given to you by your god that is like, hey, this is how you do it. There you go. Have some of that, and then you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, he's reading from a teleprompter as he raises his shield. But I'll spend a first level spell slot, cast Guiding Bolt.
Alrighty.
If this creature is restrained, is that at advantage?
Yes, it is.
Alrighty. So
I should add
roll that
restraint
up.
for that.
I'm gonna need it. Okay, that's better. 18 to hit.
Yep, that will hit.
Nice.
Alrighty. It will take not great on the damage roll. 10 radiant damage, and the next attack against it, well, it already had advantage, but it glows. Yeah, that's something it wasn't doing.
It gets ultra advantage.
And I'll end my turn there.
We love to see it.
Alright, so that was a hit. Can't complain about that. Alright, so next is the Manticore's turn. No, sorry, he had already. Sorry, I'm going mental in my old age. Don't worry. Next is Toba's turn.
All right. Well, Tobith, is there enough room to get up to like there?
Oh, you can get this.
Am I able to
Is
get
just
past the
trees,
trees?
trees and stuff. So
Yeah, I'm weak. Okay. So Tobith moves up to here, making sure that he is. I think I'm 60 feet away here. 1 second. Yeah, I'm within 60 feet. All right, so I'm using my bonus action, and Tobith shouts out, "You big tail-whipping hedgehog cat! You call those spines? I've been stabbed worse by a pine cone!" And then I shoot it with my crossbow after taunting it.
Alright.
Oh my god. Finley, who was the one who was hit.
Not crossbow, rather short bow. Yep.
You're sitting there with a spike sticking out of you going, yeah, no, they hurt. They're pretty painful.
Yeah.
AC 17.
Yep, so that will hit.
You do have advantage if you'd like to crit fish.
Yeah, crit fish. That's a good point. You do have advantage on the roll.
Yeah, I didn't get it. It's alright.
17.
But I do get sneak attack on it because of the advantage, right?
Alric.
Yeah, you do. So 18
Welcome
damage.
in,
And it
Alric.
needs to we make a sorry, it needs to make a wisdom saving throw as well, by the way.
Wisdom saving throw. All right.
From the taunt.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
17.
Oh well.
It's too
It's always worth a try.
Manticore to really care what you're saying. It's like, okay, man. I mean, I saw my spike hit that guy. That guy's like doubled over in pain. Pretty sure they hurt.
And then I take a step back and get kind of behind Finley.
So brave. I'm gonna torch you, and then I'm gonna hide behind this guy over here.
That's the idea.
Finley just shaking his head.
All right. So, top of the round, Finley. It's your go. Ulrich is here, but he's kind of just like he's tying up his shoe at the moment.
I'm sure.
Actually,
yes.
I think Ulrich's arrived now. I think I can see him in the chat now.
Yeah, my apologies, guys.
All right.
Sorry.
That's
Hey,
all right.
welcome, Eric.
That's all right. I'm just
Hello.
assuming that you were an hour out.
He slept in.
Left in. Oh, no.
Yeah, quite literally, I passed out for what I was supposed to be like a few moments, turned into, this.
We all do that every now and then.
Yeah. The curse of naps.
All right, I'm gonna move you up
yeah.
and have you showing now because you were hidden. Oop, you are there, but what I'll get you to do is roll initiative, but you can come in at the start of the next round if that's okay.
Okay. I'm sorry, I was praying.
Yeah, you're just like, hey, Paladin, I'm gonna do is, oh wait, we're fighting. Oh, okay, I'll get in on that.
Okay. For Finley's turn, I'm gonna knock another arrow. Thankful that Byron's free. And take aim at the Manticore. Oh, wait. First, I want to cast multi-shot. Wait, let me look at it real quick. New spell. Touch piece of ammunition. The thrown. Never mind. Okay. Or weapon with the thrown property. Magical duplicate. Superimposed over it until the end of your next turn. The first time you attack with the empowered item before the end of your next turn, select the second target. Yeah, that's a multi-target spell. So
Alright.
I'll hold on to that. Sorry.
Yeah. She's just like now gonna shoot Byron. Like, oh yeah, we got it. Now I'm gonna just shoot you. That's it.
No, new spells.
That's all
Okay, so I'm going to shoot it. 15 to hit.
It will hit. But you also do have advantage on the hit. Remember, it's still restrained.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
27.
19 plus 8 for 27. Okay.
Roll the damage.
Yes. And I do believe I get the Hunter's Mark 1d6. So 10 piercing plus 4, 14 damage total.
Yep. It's not looking well. It's not dead, but it's just definitely looking like you've shot it a few times. Is there anything else you would like to do?
I believe that is everything I would like to do this turn.
Alright, so, with all this commotion going on, you hear a bit of commotion yourself, and Basically, you see this guy appear all of a sudden, who was hiding in his web, waiting for you guys to get in there so that he could eat you.
I knew there was something.
He walks to the edge of his web here, looks at you all, and goes, bleh. I don't know. I don't know if Edicaps actually talk, so he goes, bleh, and shoots a web at you.
Ooh, nasty.
So one of you, Baron, because Baron's the closest. So 23.
That will. Yeah, that'll hit. I can't do my funny, unfortunately.
And you are restrained as you are covered in gooey web. He shoots his gooey web all over you, and now you are restrained.
Alrighty.
Oh dear. Would I know anything about this creature? Probably not.
Feel free to give me a history.
History? Okay.
Yeah.
And
No, you don't know anything about this. You know it's some sort of purple thing that shoots web, because it's purple and you just saw it shoot.
they just did that.
Yeah, but that is
Yeah.
the depth of your knowledge of this particular sort of creature. All right.
I could probably
Sorry.
deduce from that. I'd probably could probably deduce from that it is the creature that created this web.
Yes, you would probably
Probably.
make that leap to. Oh, it probably made all the web here, yeah, because it just shot web. It is now Byra's turn. She looks at the creature, which she wasn't really expecting either. She hadn't seen it, but she's more interested in getting rid of this Manticore, so she's going to turn and fire her longbow at the Manticore, and she hits. Does 10 damage. It's a nice hit. The
Nice.
Manticore is looking decidedly unwell now, as arrows poking out of it, guiding bolts splishes on it, whatever splishes guiding bolt does. And that is her turn. So we come up to Baron. You are restrained. You've just been covered in someone's gooey web.
Yeah. I've got a rules question, because I'm unsure on it. If I were to cast Spiritual Weapon, even though I'm restrained, would the Spiritual Weapon be made at disadvantage?
I don't believe so. Spiritual weapon is its own attack. It doesn't count to your restrainedness because it travels by itself.
Okay.
So no, it wouldn't be a disadvantage.
Just confirming,
you're not
because I
swinging
was
the weapon, you're
not
just
certain.
guiding it mentally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, kind of bound up, he's gonna call out a prayer of, by the name of Rorks, I cast the anvil down upon ye. And a anvil falls from the sky as I cast Spiritual Weapon on this creature.
Did you just do the
And
whole
that one.
Roadrunner? You just Roadrunnered that thing.
Oh
Dropped an
no.
anvil on it.
I was gonna try to, but it comedically misses.
It lands right in front of it.
he goes, whatever sound the Roadrunner makes, and like shoots out of the way just as it comes down.
Meep, meep.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
actually Wile E. Coyote in this particular situation, and have tried to drop an anvil on him, but he's just gone. Ha, nope.
He takes a small step backward and lands right in front of it.
Yeah.
Turns around, he paints a big tunnel on a wall.
Dara, I don't know how you will rule this,
Right.
but would it be alright if I gave Baron one of my inspirations real quick?
there is precedent for granting somebody else your inspiration.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know your rule on it.
There's
So
precedent.
go
I've
out.
seen it on some tables, on not on others. I don't really have a problem with it.
All right, Baron, you can roll again. I'm granting you my inspiration.
Just do it with
Alrighty,
advantage.
I appreciate it. I hope it works out. Oh,
It
No,
works out.
well, an 18 is definitely not a nat 1.
that
So
is far
7?
better.
he goes
Yes.
Thank you.
and tries to run out of the way, but for some reason he actually runs back into the same spot, and the anvil hits him in the head. Now, damage, please.
Yeah, let me roll that. Ah, not bad. 11 force damage.
Nice.
You see him start to like he starts to wobble a bit, and a little like almost, I don't know what you say, not round, but a thing pops up on top of his head where the anvil hit, and around it is flying little wing spiders. I'm just gonna lean
And
into
to
the
end my
Looney
turn,
Tunes thing.
yeah. To
Gotta
end
have
my
fun.
turn, could I use my action to try and break from the restrained?
You want to break free? Yes, you can.
Yeah. What do I need to roll?
And you can either roll, or you can actually
Athletics
sing
or
break free, and then I'll just let you out. No, I'm joking. You don't have to do
Oh, God.
do you want an athletics or a strength save?
Strength. It's strength check. Check save. Check. It was on the actual spell.
Alrighty.
Let me have a look at it. There we go. DC. Yep, DC something. Strength check.
Alrighty. It's the same across all, so it doesn't quite matter.
Well,
13.
that's
Oof.
enough. You managed to
Well.
Hey.
break free. For a moment, you're wearing a dress and have a mustache, and then you're out.
It appears Alaric's inspiration has shifted my luck in a different direction, so I will just turn and give him a thumbs up.
Single or double? Because that feels like a double thumbs up moment.
Yeah, double. Just and that'll end my turn.
Okay, so now it is the Manticore's turn, and it is restrained, and it is pissed, and I'm gonna roll a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna roll a d6 to see just who said Manticore attacks. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, Baron.
It's all right.
Now I need to remove restrained from you in that condition because you are not restrained, and then Manticore, where are you? Oh, but you know what? Apparently Ulrich's thing did change your luck, because you managed to just dodge out of the way as this spike comes flying past you. And it does not hit you.
Oh.
Because I don't think a 7 hits against your armor class.
Thankfully, no.
Alright, so that's the Manticore's go, because he still didn't wiggle his way out.
All right, Toga's going to run over to here and shout at the Manticore, "You look like a lion that lost a bet with a porcupine and then ate the judge." That's a taunt or bonus action. And then I'm going to shoot it with with a short bow again.
Alright.
That'd be a nat 20. Gotta love that.
Oh, yeah.
He did roll a 17
go.
on his wisdom. Which is
29 total damage.
Which is not going to matter.
Keep trying.
How do you
So
finish it?
this goes right into its eye, and it thrashes around, twisting itself up completely in web again, landing onto the arrow multiple times as it's rolling, and kills itself.
Finley watching this like, oh, whoa, and looks from the Manticore to Tobith, and then back. All right.
It's just imagining this thing just continuously impaling itself on the same arrow over and over again.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
That is
I've
the
never seen such a thing.
ultimate of cell phones. Alright, is that your go, Tobis?
I knew those spines were compensating for something. Yes, and then I back up again. Done.
Alright, so Ulrich, I'm actually just going to put you at the bottom of the thing, so it's your go. What are you going to do?
Oh, all right. I must. I'm gonna move towards the other cap. I'm actually gonna double
You don't
move.
know what it is?
I I move towards the weird purplish green or purplish creature
Yeah.
of
Yes.
of doom, and I'm gonna use my entire turn to move up to it, and that's my go.
Alright. Alright, Finley, you've seen the Manticore just thrashing around, impaling itself repeatedly on its own arrow. Just like, that is just, it's like, you're
Yeah.
like, do I give up being a ranger? Like, do I just let this Kenda be the ranger from now on? Because,
Like,
I was aiming for the tail.
well, I see. Interesting. I'm going to turn my attention to the purple creature. Um,
Oh, I love
puzzling
the
over
anvil on
that.
screen. That's the best. I love the anvil.
Yeah.
That was great.
Well done.
and and take aim at that creature because we're gonna have to deal with that now. Um, okay, 15 plus 8, 23
definitely
total.
hits, definitely hits. Did you move your hunter's
Um,
mark?
oh yes,
You definitely
my bad.
moved
I
your
was
hunter's
just
mark?
about to say yes. I'm just about to say I would have moved my hunter's mark from the Manticore. Let's see. Uh, damage. Oh, didn't roll great on the bow damage, but
There's a lot of DMs out there that I think would that have this, and I've played with them. They have this chess move mentality. It's like you take your finger off the chess piece and you made your move. But it's like, yeah, but this is Dungeons and Dragons, guys. It's meant to be fun. Like,
yes,
the ranger would move their hunter's mark just because he didn't say it right at that time.
right, yeah, like also getting used to new character.
Yeah. Was that your turn? Because that was bonus action, actually.
Yes, there was a total 11 damage on the thing. Yeah, I think it takes a bonus action for to
Yeah,
move the
I did
100
both
mark.
lots of damage.
So,
Alright, so this creature is now getting really pissed, but somebody was nice enough to come and walk all the way up to it, so it didn't have to walk all the way up to him, so it's going to attempt to bite your head off. But it rolls a 4, so it doesn't manage to bite your head off. So instead it turns around and it's going to try and slash you with its claws. And it rolls a 17. Which I'm pretty sure still
that'll-
does not hit.
Yep, that'll miss.
Yeah, its claws scratch across the front of your armor, but don't manage to get through. And that's its go.
Hello,
And
beast.
yeah, I'm just going to roll one thing before I finish the go, because I should have done that at the start. Alright, so that's fine. Byra also is now going to be like, wow, oh no, an Edicap! Now everybody knows what it's called.
What is that? Do you mind? We don't have time.
Yeah.
Explain later.
Yeah.
Fedley.
She whiffs her arrow, unfortunately. She's a bit shaken. Yeah, she was trapped in that web for a while and she's feeling a bit worn down, so the arrow kind of goes high. So, Baron, it is your go, and you have your magical anvil of death there.
Yeah. And Baron is getting more comfortable with his cleric abilities. He's cast a handful of spells now. For my action, since spiritual weapon is just there now, my action I'm going to guiding bolt it again,
Yep.
and we'll see how that'll work. 16 to hit.
Yep. 16 will hit.
Alrighty. It'll deal. Hey, that's very
Whoa.
good. 22 radiant damage.
Nice.
Post
Wow.
max. 2 off max. Baron's luck is turning around. Thank you, Alric.
I think you might have just got through all your ones.
And-
It's just like I've just rolled all the ones I can now.
Maybe. Perhaps. Now that it's glowing, though, the anvil will flare up with my bonus action and try to hit it now that it can do so at advantage. 23 to hit
Yep, that hits.
Nice.
for not bad. 8 force damage.
Yep.
And it's just a loud clanking noise. If you've seen the abysmal Netflix adaptation of Berserk, it's making the sword clang from
Yeah.
that.
Cling, clang, cling.
Yeah.
I have not seen it.
And I'll end my
I
turn
think I'm
there.
glad I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's so bad. So bad it's good.
I do like So Bad It's Good. I think the best one there, I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Shoot 'Em Up. That is like the best
Oh,
So Bad
yeah.
It's Good. Alright, so Manticore's dead, so it's Tobith. Your turn to shoot another thing with an arrow and make it kill itself with the arrow.
Absolutely. Tobith runs over to here and takes a shot with the arrow. That is a 22.
22, and it's a sneak attack because Ulrich is standing next to it.
Yep.
Very nice. Get that
Ah.
sneaky.
And then he finishes his turn by running back. Oh, look at that.
no,
Tobith kills
no,
another one.
No,
Woohoo!
yep, that's why I said it. It wasn't that far from death, and I was pretty sure you were going to kill it.
Oh my god. Love that.
So how does this one go?
Let me think. The glow from the guiding bolt is still kind of lingering there, and it just gave me a sight for shooting the arrow directly into it. And it followed the line of that right in, which had done so much damage, and it just kind of helped burst some more radiant damage into the thing.
Alright, I
Just
thought this fight was going
burst.
to be so much more difficult than it was, so I'm just going to add a new monster to it because I feel like it. There we go. You guys can just fight that for now.
Oh,
I'm joking.
No.
You're not fighting it to rest
Yeah, let's
yet.
go, let's go.
like, all right, guys, nice playing with you.
Let's fight the Trask.
I really thought, I was really worried, especially since you were one down. I was like, man, this is like 2 CR3 monsters, and neither one of these is particularly thingy. I don't know, like, yeah, the Manticore's restrained, but they still do decent damage and whatnot. I thought it was going to be a much harder fight than it was. Alright. So
Tobith slings his bow over his shoulder and steps forward and says, "So, not to brag, but I just killed the 2 biggest things that we've seen that weren't buildings. And I didn't even fall down once. I mean, I know technically you softened them up, but it was mostly me, right? That's fair to say."
I sure. I mean,
I'm going to enter it in my journal. Monster Slayer.
I'll just let you have that one. Yeah. Finley holding his shoulder and trying to get the spike out.
Oh yeah, let me help you with that. And I'll turn around and cast Cure Wounds on Finley.
Oh,
Thanks.
I'm terribly sorry, my friends.
You get 11
Oh,
healing.
nice. Oh, I am back up to full. Thank you.
Nicely done. So Byra comes along and says, "Oh, thank you so much for saving me. I thought I had that, and then I followed this Manticore, and it got in this web, and I thought, because that'll be easy. I'll go in there and get it, and I got caught up, couldn't move. I should have brought Rowan with me."
Did you not
Um,
see the web?
Well, I did, but I thought I could get through it. I'm pretty nimble, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll be
Oh,
fine.
yeah, well.
well. Uh, no. No worries. Just glad we were able to find you in one piece, more or less. We can get out of these woods. I think we need the head of the Manticore, don't we?
What do we need a head for?
I think
Mm,
it's proof,
You need
right?
it for
I believe
some
so.
proof of
Yes.
bounty, correct?
Oh well. He pulls out a hunter's knife. I'll get to work.
All
He
right.
walks over to the Manticore
Yeah, we do need
and
it.
starts.
We have to give it to the Red Clugs because this is the King's Forest. He doesn't like things like Manticores in here, eating all of his deer and stuff. So decent reward for that. I suppose I could. I suppose I have to split it with you guys.
Did you say that Byra was a halfling?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Tobith goes over to her and says, "So, little lady, if anyone asks who saved you, you can say that it was the charming one with the rocks. I'm glad we could be to your rescue."
She looks you up and down. I mean, it's more like up and down. Like it's up and down, but it's not. There's not a lot of distance to travel for the up and down. It's more middle.
Yeah.
Um, and she takes in. She notes your top knot. She's like, "That's a strange hairstyle, even though it appears that I have something similar in the photo that's been used here. I don't. I'm also not a man. Uh, that's a strange hairstyle you've got there. Where are you from? I've never seen a halfling like you before."
I'm from a place called Solace, and it's not just a place where you feel like you really feel rested and calm. It's a different kind of solace. And yeah, we came here specifically to rescue lovely maidens like you.
She blushes when you call her a lovely maiden. She's also very much like dressed up to be full adventurer. So she's wearing like heavy leather, and her hair's all kind of like just tied up behind her, and she's definitely not exuding lovely maiden right now. So it looks a bit odd that she's blushing to her eyeballs.
If you want some more training on how to be a good archer, you might want to look to my good friend Finley over there. I know he's kind of bloody and a mess right now, but he's usually pretty good with a bow and an arrow, better than I am even.
She turns to you and says, "I'm not 100% sure about that. I did see you shoot somebody with an arrow and then kill themselves by bashing. I've never seen that before. That's a move. How did you learn how to do that?"
Just my handsome, good-natured self. You know, things see me, and for some reason they get a little upset every once in a while, and they bash their heads around. It's kind of like having rocks in their heads. By the way, I had the best rock collection. Do you want to sit and look at them with me? And Kototh bends down and starts pulling out rocks.
Let me have a think here. Can you give me a persuasion check?
Sure. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, no, she's like, like, I can't do that.
He doesn't even notice that she's not listening. He just goes on and says, "This one's Pebsy. I found him on a beach shaped like a boot. This one is Giorgio. He's not very friendly."
She's looking at the rest of the party like, what is going on here? What is this guy doing?
Finley, as he's carving out the head from the rest of the Manticore's body, looks over, glances over, and says, "Don't pay him any mind. He's harmless,
She gives
mostly."
the universal sign for like, is he not all there or?
So with
He's
maybe it'd be best if we go in
I'm completely
south.
here. I've been looking for my sister Belty. I started naming rocks after I lost her.
Did you say Belty?
Yeah, Belty, my sister.
Oh, you're Tobith.
How do you know me?
oh, do you know his
You know
sister?
Belty?
I met her 6 months ago.
Uh, when did you lose her, Tobith?
Like over a year ago.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, she was in Honoured Beer for a little while, and then she went off. Um, she was looking for. It was weird. She was looking for something to do with this tree that was like a magical tree that would take you to somewhere else. I don't really know because it's it was a bit weird. Like she was talking about cults and brands and having to join something. Yeah, but yeah, no, I met your sister 6 months ago in Honoured Beer. It's good to meet you. She was really
In Honoured
friendly.
Bear. I'm very glad to meet you too. I've been looking for her for a long time, ever since Kendamore. Um, so what else do you remember? You said that she was looking for a tree. What else?
Yeah, that's about it. There's something about a cult of women or something, and they were like getting power to do something to do with the king and power. It was a lot of I wasn't really listening. She talked a lot about a lot of stuff.
Did she mention anything about like a floating eye or something?
A floating eye?
Mm,
No,
yes,
nothing about a floating eye. Just a tree. I don't think there was any eyes on the tree that I know of. Big tree somewhere,
curious.
somewhere south or something. I think she mentioned this big tree. There's nothing there. I mean, I've been there, but she mentioned this big tree.
Big tree to the south.
uh,
South, you
Well,
say?
I know Belty. She used to say that the world was broken and somebody had to fix it. So that might be her. And I thought she was dead. If she's joined a cult, oh gosh, Belty.
I can't remember what the
I'll keep
description
going
was of
one step at
Belty.
a time. I've got my rocks and I've got reasons now. Thanks for telling me.
I can't remember what your description of Belty was, but she gives you an accurate description of your sister, what she looked like
Perfect.
as well.
Yep.
Um, with that, Boris says, should we probably just like get out of here now if you've got the head sorted? I mean, I'll tell you what. And she walks over and she actually does the same thing to the Ettercap because she's like, we'll get money for this guy too. Like, as I said, this is the King's Forest. He comes here to hunt um, deer and stuff like that. He doesn't really want these guys around in here.
Nice. Good to know. Thank you. DM, is
Yes.
there anything uh anything else worthwhile to harvest from this manticore? Maybe the other spikes or anything?
All right, so you can harvest from said Manticore, definitely 100% harvest, harvest, harvest. I don't have any mods for that at the moment, but I can, if that's something you want to do in the game, I can have a look at see what is available. For now,
Sure,
we'll
yeah.
go with a survival check.
Sure. But I also have advantage.
Because it's your favorite terrain, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, you can roll that. 24. Alright,
Hey.
so I will get you to roll a d6 now.
Ooh, okay. D6. 5.
Oh, nice. So you manage to harvest 5 of the tail spikes from the Manticore completely intact.
Nice. All right.
Just out of curiosity, by the way, DM, are you wanting us to track ammo, or is it just assumed that we always pick up and buy more ammo?
Oh man, like that's just like, yeah, it's painful.
Thank you.
It's so
Just wanted. I didn't think you'd be the kind we were going to be that, but just wanted to make sure.
Don't get me wrong, I see the pull to it, but we're only playing 3-hour games. We're not sitting here playing all day, and like, you know,
Yep.
I even like the idea of,
Yeah.
personally, I like the idea of tracking my own components, but that's a whole Dragonlance thing from way back. You know, reading the books and like they're pulling out the web and they're doing the this and that, and that sounds
Yeah.
cool.
Yep. Yeah. I used to do that too. Yeah.
But in practice, it just takes up so much time.
Well, assume that I'm
Um,
collecting arrows whenever I can. Especially that lucky one that went right through the eye.
Yeah.
Before we leave, I would like to drag the bodies together, maybe like over here. And I'm not gonna burn them because I don't want to catch the forest on fire.
Vision all the
But
web.
I will shave off a little bit of my incense block, and I'll burn some incense around it, and just mutter like a small prayer. Just God, if you're listening, just make sure these I don't know if they're monsters or demons or what, but yeah, see fit that they're not corrupted.
You feel a warm glow. At first, you think you've just got heartburn, but then you realise it's not that sort of warm glow. As you feel inspired by your god for your kind act to your enemies, and get
Thank
inspiration.
you.
All right. From there, there's not much else left to do here apart from head back to Honoured Beer and get rewarded. Of course, you will spend the night again, probably in Willow Creek. It's not that this was a very
Mhm.
large journey, but there is no other real towns between Honoured Beer and where you are, unless you wanted to travel elsewhere. Of course, you're now on the continent proper, so you can travel wherever you bloody want. Do whatever you want. Go wild.
Well, I feel
Hey,
like
Finley,
yes.
I saw you harvested some of those spikes from the Manticore. If you wanted, once we get back, maybe I could fashion you a weapon out of it. Maybe some arrows.
Certainly. That sounds great. Um,
I need to get something working with my hands. I've not made anything. Feeling withdrawals.
It's got the
Certainly.
DTs from no making stuff.
Like he's getting the like handshake from not holding his hammer for too long.
So,
on that note, since you're offering to craft me weapons, if there's anything you would like me to craft for you, I have got my I know my way around some woodcarver's tools.
It's a useful skill.
alrighty.
Could craft you a nice handle for anything. Good sturdy handle.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Shall we?
So you head back to Willow Creek.
Yeah.
Again, you can spend the night or you can keep going. If you do keep going, it would probably be around about, like, you know, midnight before you go back to On and Beer.
Would we like to rest in Willow Creek? Otherwise, Finley is gonna look at the group. I'm fine with continuing forward, but I understand some of us might want some rest. Been a bit of a day. And he looks at um, their charge, who was stuck in the web when we found her.
Byra's pretty done in. Like, you could probably force march her
Yeah.
back to On and Beer, but she's like, I have been kind of just struggling this web for hours on end. Like, yeah, like, I wouldn't mind a
Yes,
bit of a kip.
we can certainly take a rest at Willow Creek.
Tobis would like to take Finley aside and chat with him.
Sure. Finley will give you a nod and follow you.
Finley, I'd really like to keep going at Onadbeer. I think it's really important that we get back as soon as we can. I need to find this trail that might be going to my sister.
I'm certainly fine with that. Obviously, maybe we can at least get Byra hooked up in a hotel so she can rest. She is very clearly tuckered out. But um, I'm all for continuing forward to Anandbir. This does sound like an urgent issue, and if it concerns you, it concerns me.
It is. I never told anyone before, but. And then Tobit reaches into his pocket and pulls out a piece of parchment. This is what she left behind. It's not a note, not even a goodbye. It's just this. And it's just a piece of parchment with a strange symbol on it. I don't know if you know what it might be, but and I say, Tova says, it hums sometimes, not like music, kind of just like energy. I don't know what it says. I don't know what it wants, but I know it was Belty's, and I think it's part of where she went and why she's gone. I figured that you
May
know
I
more than
look
I
at
do
it?
about old things and strange things and, directions.
Certainly. Might I look at it? And he'll reach out for it.
Yeah, I hand it to him.
All right. Is there any sort of check I might be able to do to discern what this symbol might be, or
There
don't
is, but you
have
won't
any?
know. Like, there's plenty of
Yeah.
checks you can
Okay.
do, but you won't know the symbol. Never seen it before.
Okay. I will for sure. I'll look at it and just do I sense anything of what Tobith is talking about when I look at and I touch the parchment?
You don't feel
It
a
over.
humming or anything, but you do feel a sense
Mhm.
of impending dread when you see the symbol. It's a symbol that seems to denote horribleness and dread and death and danger.
Mm, I'm looking over it and I puzzle over it for a minute, looking back and front and over the symbol, and I just shake my head with furrowed brows and hand it back to Tobith. I don't know anything about the symbol. I'm sorry, but I do sense something awful. Um, it's dreadful.
It is.
Whatever
And
it is,
the lines in the
whatever.
symbols, they can almost slide sideways if you look at them too long. Anyway, thank you for looking. If you see that symbol anywhere, please tell me right away.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Everything all right?
Oliver, um,
Yeah,
I'll
we're okay,
glance.
Ulrich. Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
chatting.
um, why don't we broach this
Thanks,
with
Finley.
Baron and Ulrich, of course, in terms of going out to Onadbeer. Um,
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm
Let's
sure.
get going.
Yeah. And we'll rejoin the group. Um, And Finley will look to Ulrich and Baron. How do you feel about continuing on to Onadvir? If as long as we can set up Byra in a hotel here in Willow Creek so she can get some rest and perhaps meet us there in Onadvir when she is ready and
Are
rested.
you good enough to keep going, Finley?
I'm. I feel all right. I'll be all right. Thank you.
Very well.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks to
We could keep
Baron.
going.
I'm right as rain.
Very well. We could keep going. But we should. Um, and yes.
Uh,
Yeah, I have
I'll
no
look
qualms
to
with that.
Byra. All right. All right. I'll look to
Thanks. I
Byra
don't
and say,
usually ask people to hurry for me, not on purpose. So thanks, everybody.
yeah, for sure. I'll look
Byra,
to
Byra
Byra.
is fine with it. She's like, yeah, just leave me in Willow Creek. That's fine. I'll rest there. Um,
Mhm.
she actually says, look, I wouldn't normally trust anybody, but you're Belty's brother, looking at Tobith clearly, and she was
Mhm.
always good to me. So if you guys want to take the Manticore and the Ettercap head to Honoured Beer and take them to the hall and hand them in, you just got to tell them that I I was part of the kill, and then
Of course. Yes.
um,
In fact, do you want to write a letter? That I can pass on to them?
sure.
Certainly.
So yeah, when we get to
Just
Willow
a
Creek, I'll scribble something.
sure. Yeah, just a confirmation
All right, and with
that
that,
you are alive and we found you.
oh, they won't release the funds until I get there anyway, so probably be the day after tomorrow before you get paid for that. But
Yeah,
like, if you need to go now, then that's what they'll do.
sure. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and with that, you guys head to Willow Creek, and I'm assuming you just move on into Honoured Beer and get back there.
Yeah.
Unless there's anything else you'd like to do on the way.
Um, Finley's just gonna keep marching on, thinking about that conversation he had with Tobith and Tobith's sister. What it all means, how it might be related to what brought them here.
All right. So obviously, when you get back, it's like midnight. You've come in through the Crown Gate. Um, the what is it? What was the inn that you were in last time? I can't remember the name of it.
The Cheeky Mermaid
The
on
Cheeky
the
Mermaid.
East Coast.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
tricky.
So you got to
Yeah.
make your way all the way across town. Now it is midnight, but the city is still fairly bustling. Obviously not as bustly as the day, but there's still a lot of people doing things. You get a few furtive looks from the odd person who's clearly out to do nighttime work, but
Mhm.
they keep a wide berth of you. As long as you guys keep to the main roads, they keep a wide berth of you because you clearly look like you could stab them or make them repeatedly headbutt arrows or something like that. The Cheeky Mermaid is still open. The night porter or barkeep is still there and gives you a nod as you walk through. But you guys booked rooms for a number of days, if I'm right.
I believe we did.
Yeah, I think one of you
Um,
paid like a gold or something to buy
Yeah,
out
I think we did.
a week. So you just go to your rooms, go to bed, all is good. The next morning dawns, and um, for the day so far, you know that at some point you need to go to the halls of the lawgiver in order to report that Byra is safe and hand in the Manticore and Ettercap head, which would have got you some very queer looks last night as you walked dragging these two heads in with you to the inn.
yeah, for sure.
Thankfully, I'm assuming by this point, that many hours of travel, you're not like dragging blood all over the floor or anything like that. But it still would have been like. But at the same time, they're used to adventurers, so they know that this is the sort of thing that happens where adventurers exist. Uh, so the day is yours. Baron had made
Certainly.
some comments about making some arrows out of the manticore spikes.
Yeah. So I would relinquish those spikes to Baron, and then possibly find some wood to fashion into, I don't know, something I think Baron might find useful.
Alright. So what would everybody like to do for the day, though?
Um, After we turn in the head and relinquish the note to those folks there, I think Finley would like to possibly start looking to find I don't know, some sort of library or anything that might um seem he wants to look into the symbol uh on the parchment that Tobith showed him. If there's any sort of lead that he might be able to help Tobith find. Um, so that was pretty disturbing,
Alright.
that
Do
feeling.
do you ask around for that, or do you just kind of wander around the streets hoping you can find somewhere?
Um, I think Finley would have the sense to possibly ask a couple passersby, perhaps. So
Alright.
he's not the most charismatic. He would uh, maybe approach somebody who looks a little more studied.
So up
And
to you.
Tobith is
You're the
going
best
to
person.
head to the Temple of Magic, by the way. He just, I'm kind of confused why people think I'm a magician, so I'm going to kind of poke around and figure out if, I'm stealing spells by mistake.
Perfect.
Yeah. Alright. Look, you actually, Finley would ascertain that you and Tobith are probably bound for the same place. Any repository of knowledge in town is probably going to be the Temple of Magic, which
Mhm.
is there. I don't know if you like from if you remember, Bing Bing, right there in
Oh
the South
yeah,
District. Um,
along the river district. Yeah.
which Baron, are you likely to want to try and do those arrows today? Like, is that what you were thinking about?
Potentially. I had other plans, but they could
Oh no no
intertwine.
no no! Your plans are your own. I was just you were just like you need to get your hands on it. I was just saying that you would remember when you want to do it that they had offered at the Temple of Competence for you to use their facilities whenever you wanted.
Okay,
So when you want to do that, you can
that's a
go over there.
fallback then. My initial goal is at some point I would like to make my way over to Knight's Pride and see if I could get in on good terms there.
Yep. I mean, that's probably about six to one half a dozen. The other Temple of Competence is kind of the religious arm of that, and Knight's Pride's probably the best smithy in town. So yeah, both of those make sense. Ulrich, did you have any plans for the day?
Um, yes. Um, Oric actually needs to take a moment and reflect reflect on things, uh, and find find his sacred oath in game mechanic terms because I have not had time all week.
Fair
Uh,
enough.
yeah, I need to find maybe I don't know. a temple of some sort that would be dedicated to some kind of like lawful good um, tenets. Not necessarily. I don't know the gods here, but like something that um, preaches, goodliness for the sake of being goodly.
Alright, so you are going to find yourself directed to a little place called the Bastion of the Knights. Which is in the part of the city you guys are told basically nobody's going to want you there because you're all like muckrakers. But you will get in because you are dressed in armor like a knight. Very knightly armor. Basically, this is the within the royal courts themselves, and it is the bastion of the Knights of the Crown. You find out, which is the name of the knightly order that has dwarves in it. Here.
Huh.
In terms of knightly duties and stuff like that, you're told that's the place to go and see, and all of the above.
Yeah.
So I think we'll kind of round robin what everyone's doing for the day. Magnus was asleep when you got back last night, and he was gone before you got up this morning, doing whatever he's doing. And I can probably just role play that with him at some point to see what he was up to during this period of time. Clearly didn't come with you yesterday for whatever reason. Now, in terms of XP, I'm just going with everybody gets XP, even if you're not here, because that just, I think, is the fairest. Because otherwise you end up with this whole thing where some of you have gone to level 4, but one of you is still level 3, and then it just ends up levels all over the place, and it gets messy after a while. As long as that works for everybody.
Yeah, I don't have
Yep,
any
works for me.
objections to that.
Sounds good to me.
Alright, so we'll start with the Temple of Magic and with Finley and Tobith.
Right.
Great. So when we get there, what do we see?
You see a temple of magic. um,
Wow, it's like I'm there.
Intriguing.
painted a picture for
Plot
you.
twist.
A marvelous color, sparkling columns of heatless fire dominate the entrance of this temple, which is rich in detail. Its large rose glass windows seem to shift as shapes form and disappear in them slowly. The inside of the building features magical enchantments and imagery, which always awes visitors and faithful alike. The priests of the House of the Wonder Maker, who is the god of magic here, welcome all who are fascinated by their god's power and those who wish to hire their magical services. These services are usually provided by Wim the Virtuous, an aged, stolid human priest who is all too pragmatic about the magical wonders he sells. Second in command, and the guy you meet, is Father Bo Simius. Who is this guy?
Yes.
He looks very fancy. He's very pious, very
Oh boy.
like, yes, how can I help? You imagine if he was wearing glasses, he'd be looking over the top of them, but he's not wearing glasses, so he's still somehow managing to do that without wearing them.
Wow. Excuse
Glancing
me.
down the tip of his nose.
You look very wizardy. Is there a department around here for weird symbols that hum? I've got one that, it hasn't exploded or anything, but it hums like it's thinking about it.
When you say the word exploded, he almost ducks. Because, like, you just walked into a wizard place and went, I've got a symbol that hasn't exploded yet. He's like, ah! And then he looks at you.
I don't I don't think it's actually going to explode. He's mm,
It came from my sister. She vanished. The page didn't. But it kind of vibrates
but
sometimes.
the symbol is concerning. Uh, and we wish to know more about it.
Yeah, can you tell me what it is or what it wants or if it's going to eat me in my sleep?
So he's sizing you up. Are you showing him the symbol, or are you just telling about it?
I am. Yep, I hold it out to him.
All right. He looks at the symbol and he's like, "No, can't say I've seen that before." Who did you say your sister was, by the way?
Her name is Belty.
Belty, Belty, Belty.
Looks like me, a
Oh,
little younger and prettier.
actually did meet a Belty some months ago. She came asking about a similar thing, about the symbol. Um, I couldn't really help her, but I did direct her to the Emporium of Marvelous Rarities. Um, they tend to sell magical items and stuff, run by another magician of some, not quite as good as us, but of some renown. But no, symbol like this, nah, can't help you.
An Imperium
Can I
of Magical Rarities?
get a read on this guy?
Can you get a read on him? You can try and get a read on him. Can you
Yeah.
give me a perception?
Perception or insight?
Would you choose perception or insight? I don't really mind.
Okay.
Uh,
17.
he's definitely hiding something, or you
Mm,
think he's hiding something. Like that's like you don't really trust what he's saying. When he took the note, you noted that there was a quick, brief shift in his eyes, like a flicker of recognition, and then he was like, "Oh no, no, I've never seen this before." No,
hmm. I'm going to hold my hand out for the parchment, if you don't mind.
Certainly.
he hands it back.
Um, Tobith. Well. First, can you direct us to this place you've mentioned? The
The Emporium of Marvelous Rarities. Yes, I can.
yes.
As soon as this mystical guy finds where that is in the big list of places, I can definitely definitely send you there. Where are you? There we are.
All right,
Eddie.
and then I would like. Oh, I would like to pull Tobith aside, um, and just kind of whisper to him. I don't think this man is being completely forthright about to us. I feel like I get the sense that he's hiding something. Um, he seemed, when he looked at the symbol, he appeared to recognize it for the briefest of moments, but I can't be too sure.
I'm
Um,
starting to think that maybe this is about something bigger than just Belty.
I also get that feeling. I have the sense that whatever this symbol is, it's connected to what brought us here in it as well. I think some of it is all possibly related. I obviously am speculating here. Um, can't be too sure, but that is a feeling I have.
I think you're probably right. Should we go to this Imperium of marvelous rare things?
Yes, I think we should. Um, I don't
Okay.
know what that man is hiding and I don't necessarily know that I could make him talk. Tell us
We
what
have ways of making
he
you
is
talk.
hiding. Unless
So,
you have.
Mr. Bow, the other thing I wanted to ask you about before we leave, um, I've seen some weird stuff happening around me lately, and I don't quite know what it is. You know, like floating locks and fluffed pillows and manticores dying when I shout something dumb at them. And I'm kind of wondering if it's me or magic, or I'm not trained. I've never studied any scrolls or waved a wand around, but I kind of think I'm knowing things now like I didn't know before. Is that a thing? Can somehow can I my tongue's not working. Can I somehow know whether or not I can do magic?
He looks you up and down, and then he moves close to you and basically puts his hand just above your forehead and closes his eyes, and you feel a strange sensation in the middle of your forehead, and he's opens his eyes, looks at you, and goes, You seem to be one of those individuals that have a natural wellspring of magic ability that you've tapped into. We see this sometimes. Generally, it emerges in a way that is less about casting spells and more in line with whatever your chosen profession is. So there's the odd blacksmith that can use magic in their smithing to make magical weapons and that sort of thing. They're not necessarily trained, but the magic becomes a natural extension of their work. So I'd say that's uh, what you're feeling there. We can help to train you in this, either ourselves or again somewhere like the Emporium of Vastest Rarities also runs a school for magic users. So there is of course tuition involved in either choice. So if that's something you'd like to develop further down the track, please let us know or let them know, and we'll talk about that.
Okay. That's really neat. I'll try. I'll try and come back.
All right. Uh, if there's nothing further, he turns and he goes to walk away, and he's wearing the proper floor length robe. It's a bit of a cross between a wizard's robe and the priestly mitre that you'd see um, at high church mass, and it's very clearly this guy puts a lot of effort into making himself look as priestly and magical as possible. So it's very sweeping as he turns around and walks away.
All right. Well, where to? Should we head up to that Emporium of Marbled Rabbits?
All right.
Yes, I don't know that I very much like this place or that person in particular. Let's quit this place, I say.
All right. So
Okay.
we'll leave that there, and we'll move on to Baron. And come back to you at the Endorium of Father's Habits or something later. Uh, so Baron headed to Knight's Pride.
Yeah, he's brought along the arrows with him. If he doesn't get on here, he'll at least go work at the Temple of Competence for a bit. But he saw that the Hobgoblin fellow was a good craftsman, and that's something that Baron looks for more than anything else. Baron, it doesn't matter like what field you're doing. If you're doing it well, he will respect you. If you're doing it half-assed, he's gonna think you're a loser. But like, if you're taking the time and effort to do your craft correctly, he will respect you.
All right. Okay, so you go to the Night Pride Inn as per usual, like the sounds of hammers and ringing on anvils and all of that standard smithing sound that you would be used to, the smells of the forge and all that assault your nose as you get closer. Though probably don't assault your nose, they're probably more like say hello to your nose, because you like them. And as you walk in, you do see Brooketeer, the Iron Grip, with his big left arm prosthesis, uh, swinging his hammer. As he sees you, he stops. He gives you a wave with his actual, arm, uh, and kind of indicates that he's going to finish what he's doing, and then he'll come and have a talk to you. As you would know from your many years, you can't really stop mid smith.
Yeah.
So he finishes his job, sets it aside, comes over. What's going on?
Yeah, well, I stopped in a few days ago and saw you were good at your craft.
I remember you.
I'm new around here, but I'm familiar with a forge. I was looking to see if you had a spare anvil. Needed some extra hands.
He's with his good hand, he's gonna scratch his chin, which has like 3 or 4 days of stubble, and sounds like he's rubbing sandpaper all over the bottom of his face as he scratches it. He's like, looks you over, sizes you up. He's like, yeah, all right. I've got one of the apprentices is out sick today. So I've got an anvil over in the corner you can use if you like. What do you want to work on?
Yeah, well, I've got some arrows for a friend I need to make, but after that, if you've got any spare work you need done, I can help you, finish out some projects.
He asks you
And
to show him what you want to use to make the arrows.
would Finley have given him
Yeah, he said he gave them to
the
you.
Manticore spikes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
He'll pull the spikes out of his bag.
He looks at them
I've
straight
got
away.
these.
Straight away goes, oh, them be Manticore spikes if I don't be mistaken.
Absolutely. Just harvested them yesterday.
You ever worked with Manticore spikes before?
I've never seen a Manticore until we fought it.
It's like, all right, hold on then. Give me a minute. I've got a couple of ideas for you. Some really good arrows you can make. I'm trying to actually figure out how big is a Manticore spike.
Ooh, it's a
I
large
imagine-
creature, right?
Yeah, I imagine they're quite big. I imagine you get more than a single arrowhead.
It looks like a
from each
crossbow
one.
bolt. I'm looking at the art.
Have you got the art that you can share?
Yeah, I'll copy this. I was just kind of eyeballing it. Looking at the tail, it looks kind of like the size of like a crossbow bolt.
Like the whole spike looks like the size of a crossbow bolt,
Yeah.
which means bigger than you're not going to shoot an arrow with an arrowhead the size
Yeah,
of a
yeah.
crossbow bolt. That might be a little bit much.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what we're hunting. Arrows that can take down an elephant.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know how much merit it'll be, but I do have a writ. If you'd like it, I guess like a resume of sorts. You probably never heard of it because it's far away, but I come from the Caucasus Mountains, and there I was part of Clan Dewar, and I've got a little over 100 years of experience, and it's detailed in this writ.
He'll take the writ from you, and he'll definitely have a look over it, see the things you've done. So it's quite impressive. Yeah. I mean, look, I don't have any problem. I can tell you're a smith. I mean, look at your arms. Like, no, what do you call them? No commoner coming in off the street looks like you, mate. We get them every now and then. Oh, I'm a smith. Oh, I once made a horseshoe. Bloody posers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm currently, it's not that I'm looking for a list of different types of arrows or anything and not finding it, but that's what I'm doing at the moment.
I had an idea. It'd be custom, but I was thinking, what if I don't know what damage the Manticore spikes do. Is it like a D6 or a D8 piercing? What if what if it just did that on top of the short bow damage or the longbow damage, whatever he uses?
I have an idea too. Just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to figure it out. Yeah, basically around about the same thing, but a little bit different. All right, I've got an idea for him. So basically, he is going to tell you that an arrow made from a manticore spike, because the spikes are not uniform like a standard arrowhead, can be quite deadly and damaging. They have a property that he calls embedding. An arrow fired from a manticore spike becomes embedded in the hole. Usually it causes things to bleed a little bit extra, and if it's removed improperly, it can cause a lot of damage. So basically, I've got to work out the periphery for the actual item for this, and I'll make it at some point. But I'm going to do this. They do an extra, for this level, I'm going to say they do an extra 2 bleed damage per round once they're fired in, and then we'll go with a con save to remove them from a creature if it wants to remove them, and if they fail the con save, they take like an extra 1d4 bleed damage, and then they still bleed for extra necrotic damage, obviously, because it's not Pathfinder, so there's no bleed, but
Yeah.
So basically they just get twisted in the wound, and they're basically barbed. If you try and remove them, they rip the hole open and bleed for more damage, and they bleed for 1d4 damage per round once removed until the wound is staunched.
And I assume since they're brittle, they probably can't be reused, right? They're just single-time use arrows.
I wouldn't say they were that brittle, because these things grow 24 spikes a day as manticores. Like, they regrow them.
Okay, never mind then.
So I would say that I'll make a proper item for this, a homebrew item for this, that there be a check when Finley collects the arrows to see whether they broke. Some sort of thing that I'll put on them.
Sounds good.
So if he remembers, and these ones I will get Finley to be like, I'm going to go and pick up my manticore arrows that I used. Like, you will need to track how many of these ones you've got.
Oh, for sure. Special arrows deserve special treatment.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll make up an item in between now and next week that is proper for these, but you're going to spend the day making those, and he's going to help you out, pointers and all that sort of jizzy jazz, and by the end of the day, give me a... What would you use for the crafting?
I've got smith tools.
Yeah, okay. Give me a check with your smith tools.
Alrighty. Yeah, not great. Would you say this guy is helping me? Well,
Yeah. Okay.
if he's
Yes.
helping me,
Yes.
could I?
Yes. You can have advantage on the check.
Oh, oh,
Ooh.
oh.
At
Okay.
first you're not. He's like you're not doing it quite as well. He's like, yeah, it's not metal, mate. You got to work with it like this, and you got to do this, that, and the other. And he points out a few things. He's like, ah, cool, yep. And then you get it, and you're making them all up. But because of the size of the Manticore spikes, he's like, well, we can get more than one arrow from each of these, so let's work with them. And I was just gonna do a straight D10, but with that 27, roll me 2D10.
Ooh. Okay. 2d10.
Don't roll low. There you go. You managed to craft 11 Manticore arrows.
Bet those ones will be
Not
tracked.
bad.
Yeah, they are definitely tracked. And we'll leave that there for now, and we will move on to Ulrich visiting the Bastion of Knights.
And does this symbol of the crowns looks like eerily similar to like the Knights of the Crown from Kryn, or is it like
Uh,
got some subtle differences?
well, the crown logo is more in line with the crown of the king here, so it's not the crown that you're used to. But yes, you would walk through into the that area through the Riverside Promenade, and then you are permitted to go down to the King's Bridge and through to the Bastion of the Knights, where you will meet one. You eventually, like, they're a bit iffy at first because they don't recognise you, and they definitely don't recognise the symbol of roses and everything like that, but they feel enough from you to realise that you are what you say you are. You're not some sort of thing there, and eventually you are brought into the presence of a dwarf called Seen Monda. And I'm going to try and find a picture of him because there's not one here. Because of course there's not
Hello.
one here. Pick from library. Just give me one moment as I move through here.
Yep.
So this is the guy you're introduced to. He looks you up and down and goes, "Nighty."
Indeed, sir.
And where do you hail from?
I a place far away from here. I don't suppose you've heard of it. It's called Salamina.
Can't say I've heard of Solamnia. Oh, wait a minute. No, I tell a lie, actually. We met this wee lass about 6 months ago. What was her name? Belty. Belty, yes. She said she was from somewhere called Kendermore, and that there was another place called Solamnia there. That would
Yes, one of my companions. That is his sister. We've actually been looking for her.
Oh, that wouldn't be Torbeth, would it?
Yes, Tobith.
She spoke
That
on
is my
him.
companion's name.
Spoke on him on a number of occasions. Oh, you'd be like one of those Knights of Solemnia then. I noticed the she'd mentioned that some of you had like the roses on your breastplates.
I am the Knight of the Rose.
Oh, well met then. Take a seat.
Thank you.
What brings you here?
Well, I find myself as a stranger in a strange land. I'm looking for inspiration, right? for lack of a better way of saying it's I feel a power sort of in me. Um, I bel- I believe I must take an oath of some kind. And I'm not sure which. I need some guidance from the divine, if you know what I mean.
He's like, I know perfectly what you mean. I took the oath of the crown many, many years ago now. Of course, there's many oaths for many people, so you've really got to reach down and see what feels right to you.
Um, shall I take a moment and could I take a moment and um go into a go into prayer?
Are you actually having trouble choosing which one you want?
Yeah.
Out of character.
Yeah, out
I
of character.
I,
I'm going
I
through
did
like I'm
just.
Oath of Vengeance is pretty classic. But there's also
Mhm.
there's Safeguarding and then there's Radiance. Um, looking at all the options available to me.
Yeah,
Um,
there. I don't think there's any wrong choice for
No.
like fun wise. Though,
I do like the
I
Oath of Radiance because like it's a lot of like um like light damage. Uh,
yeah.
good spells too.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
in the end, whatever you want to pick, man. Like any of them that are legit ones. No oath of god killing or anything.
no, of
There's the
course not.
new ones too. The oath of cleansing, and oath of protection are new for this world too, right?
I was
Yeah.
trying to remember. I was gonna have a look at the books
So
there.
yeah, Oath of Grandeur from Torrance, Oath of Protection from the Crown, Oath of Magic from Torrance. What's the other one? I think that's it.
Cleansing.
Or
Yeah,
no,
it's it.
cleansing. Yeah, cleansing. That's the other one. That's the other one.
Yeah. I'm just rolling down here.
Vengeance is a very fun one.
Vengeance is very fun.
Yeah,
Played
I
it.
always pick that one when I'm playing in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, I played a paladin with the Oath of Vengeance and for my last campaign, and that was a lot of fun. He was a multi-class rogue uh, paladin actually.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. So
So I'll probably go with Radiance then.
Both the
Um,
radiance. All right.
yeah, I just like it.
As you sit there in
for
prayer,
sure.
you feel a light glance down at you from a window high above. But more than the light, you feel like a power building in you, and you feel Paladine's hand reach out and touch you. And as you do, you fall to your knees and you recite the tenets of Radiance as you feel them, cementing your oath.
Hooray!
Um, in the meantime, once you've done that and you are done, Scene Mondo turns to you and welcomes you into the uh, into the Brotherhood. Basically, you're all knights. You're a knight of a different order, but all knights, all the same. But he does say to you, "While you're here, quite happy for you to be amongst the Brotherhood here." Uh, and he hands you a symbol very similar to the one that he was wearing on his chest, which I've lost that. Pick that book again. There we go. The little sword symbol that's on the top of his armor there. and says, as long as you wear this, you'll be marked as one of our own, and this will allow you not only to come into here whenever you want, but a lot of places in town that'll make way for a night. And of course, not that it's essential, but it'll also help if you've got any work to do to grease the wheels and maybe even increase your pay.
Huh. Well, I thank you. I shall wear it proudly and represent your order in the same way I would represent my order, with dignity, respect, and yes.
See that you do.
Thank you.
Obviously, we'd already heard. I know you were sent out to find Byra, but we'd already heard of the other work you'd done in town. So I believe you can be of help. So in terms of actual game mechanics thing, there, I'm going to make up as well as the arrows. I'm going to make up a little item that is basically a brooch of some variety that will give you advantage on charisma checks to negotiate for your quests and stuff while you're
Nice.
wearing that symbol. After that, he shows you around the bastion, introduces you to fellow knights, which there are a fairly significant number of them. You do note that not everybody seems to be quite as pious as Monda. That there's a lot of similarities between the current Knights of Solamnia that you saw at home and these guys here, where there's some who are obviously knights because their families expect it or because they thought it would get them power or whatever. Like, they're not all that pious, and quite a few of them you're pretty sure don't have any power, regardless of some of them being quite old in the order.
I see.
Monda bids you a good day once you're done and goes back to his work. He promises that should he need any help, he will call on you guys at some point, because there are things afoot that he may need your help with.
I understand. We shall be there.
And with that, he bids you adieu. And we'll circle back to Finley and Tobith making their way to the Emporium of Marvelous Rarities, or whatever Tobith's calling it at the moment.
Imperial of Marvelous Rare Ties.
Exactly.
Rare ties. Sure. Of course.
And there is a map for this.
We love to see it.
Not sure why I put you halfway in a wall, but you know, why not? And you. There you go. So you find yourself outside of this building, which looks like, by the way, no, don't do that, like this. When you go up to it, you see this building coming up in a second. If you can see that.
Very cool. See that? Yeah. Neat.
There it is.
Yeah.
I had to zoom out.
All the maps have an image of the actual thing down the bottom, so that's a cool
Very
thing.
cool.
As you enter into what is clearly a magic shop.
Hmm.
At the moment, go to book. So, a heavily stocked shop greets visitors. Vials, tubes, little bags, containers, gems and crystals, necklaces and rings, wands, weapons and armor of all sorts are placed neatly on packed shelves. Each item is faintly glowing and has a magical descriptive writing in front of it, which can be seen even despite the bright reddish illumination provided by the flames in the mouths of the two illusionary red dragon heads above.
Ooh.
Dragon heads? What the heck are those?
Approach slowly. He's not gonna touch anything, but he is very curious about these dragon heads. Just
They're clearly illusory. You can see through them.
okay.
And they're not attached to dragon bodies.
Very curious about this magic. Yes.
Now, as you enter, you see this fellow behind the counter. Who says, "Welcome to the Emporium of Marvelous Rarities. Your wish is our business. How may I serve you today?"
Gobus.
Well, we're very excited to be here at the Emporium of Rarities, and I'm wondering if you know my sister Belty.
Your sister who?
My sister
Belty.
Belty. She kind of looks like me, but prettier and a little younger.
No, sorry, I can't say I do. No, never heard of a Belty.
I do an insight check.
Yeah.
Okay.
As am I.
Okay.
Okay, 18.
You get the impression from this guy that obviously he's a magician, he's got floating glasses and all of that sort of stuff. Magic user of some variety, but you also get the feeling that he is the shop salesman, and he will probably not remember who you are 5 minutes after you leave. When he welcomed you, you got the feeling that he's said that welcome a number of millions of times, and he's just doing his job. So if Belty had come in here, he doesn't know who that is. While you're doing that, there's this noble walking around going, oh, yes, quite good, yes, oh, amazing. Clearly a tire kicker, with Drina Baleguard looking on going, as if he wishes this guy would just leave. He does turn to you and say, "Look, if you are after anything, we've got a number of really quite good magical items here, which he shows you a list of."
Wow. Yeah, Tobith's eyes are just like bugging out at everything here. He's going to wander around and pick a couple of things up here and there and see what kind of interesting things he might find.
Do any of those things accidentally fall into your pockets?
Oh yeah, definitely. One of the rings, not that I would know what it is, but one of the rings would probably drop into my pocket. They're small.
Definitely gonna need a 100% stealth roll for that one.
Sleight of hand or stealth?
Sleight of hand for that one. Might just have to.
Why'd you have to
Can you
roll
use my
well?
inspiration point, please?
You can use,
Yeah,
you can use your inspiration, of course you can.
It's better. Yeah. It's a good thing you have a +8.
Unfortunately, not good enough.
Damn.
No.
The ring starts to go in, and you hear this and you turn around and Drina's looking at you, looking down his glasses at you very much. Is like, I believe that goes back on that shelf, and I believe it goes back there
Oh, it was the
now.
shelf. I thought it was the shelf over there. I was just going to move it over for you, but you want it in this shelf? You said.
Give me a persuasion check. Oh, that's okay.
Rolled out at the
What are
wrong
these
time.
rolls?
He gives you the benefit of the doubt and goes, yes, that shelf in front of you. Now, please.
Okay, but I think for better sales, it would look better over there. But whatever you think, you're the back. You're the expert.
Indeed.
And as I'm doing that, I start moving other things around, trying to make them look better. I don't pocket anything this time, but I do move things around. I'm looking specifically for nice looking stones.
Oh,
Did you say you were looking for nice looking stones out loud?
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking particularly for nice looking stones.
He looks at you and says, I believe there's some nice looking stones not in the shop. Like, somewhere else.
Oh, I get it. I know when I'm not wanted.
You,
Let's go,
you,
Finley.
you did just try to steal from him.
Hey.
I mean, you don't see it as that. He
Finley.
does.
Yeah. Finley just sighs and shoots the shopkeeper an apologetic glance and ushers Tobith out.
Before
Yeah, I didn't want to buy anything from this emporium of malicious rarities anyway. Miserable rip-offs, more like.
before you run out, unbeknownst to
Mhm.
you, the noble that was in the shop had taken this opportunity to do the very same thing that Tobith had been doing because he's a Kender, and
Of
he's
course. Yeah.
on his way. I'll get you two to move back in a bit. Just he's on his way out the
Yeah, for
door
sure.
before you when Drina turns around and is like, "Stop, thief!" And uh, you see the noble stop dead in his tracks as um,
I sleight of hand to take whatever he took out of his pocket.
Oh
we'll
my
get to that
god.
in a second. As Drina Baleguard casts hold person on the noble, stopping him dead in his tracks.
Oh, even easier.
All right, so you're gonna have to give me another sleight of hand.
Yep.
This time you managed to do it. You managed to get the thing out of his pocket into your own as you wander out the door. All right. So you've just.
Hey, we get away from the fish and snatch emporium right away.
Oh dear. Ugh. Finley, just
I
I don't
am
even know if he
going
would
to.
know that
It's not going to be
because
armor.
that beats his passive.
Of course, yeah.
I'm going to roll D3 to start. So it's a ring.
Mm.
Perfect.
And now a D4. It's a ring of jumping. You just managed to steal a ring of jumping.
Awesome.
And you know what? I think that I'm going to give that for that, because I think that's worth getting XP for that encounter.
Nice.
It wasn't huge, but you
Are
just
you guys?
managed to steal a ring of jumping from. There you go. You've now got a ring of jumping in your pack.
Thank you. Are you guys seeing the journal entries that I put in, by the way?
I see it every time you put it in. Journal entry added
Okay, just
items at the embezzlement of marvelous robberies. Yeah.
yeah, perfect. Good.
Well, you didn't find out anything useful, but you did manage some grand theft. There was a grand larceny, isn't it? Actually, that. So well done.
Nice. Nice.
Just be aware that the punishments for crimes in this place are pretty like you're not getting 3 to 5, you're getting like executed for shit. But feel free to keep doing that.
Don't get caught, Tobith.
All right, so we're going back to the main map now. And we will see where Baron's up to. You've made your... they can only execute you if you get caught. Yes, they can only execute you if you get caught, but they can execute you if you get caught. Baron, what are you up to? You've made your arrows. Probably, I mean, I don't know how long it would take to make 11 arrows. I'd probably say most of the day.
Yeah, they're around. I'd assume. Honestly, until and this probably will extend for the next period of days until we figure out what we're doing next as a group. I'd like to just be working in the forge, trying to make an income.
All right.
We got to get a base of funding somewhere, and sounds like myself and Finley are the only two with skilled trades.
I don't know. Somebody just got a ring of jumping. Seems like he might have a skilled trade.
Well, you can't eat a ring, unfortunately,
Legal.
and we need gold to survive.
You can sell a ring that you just stole from somebody else.
I feel like if we sold it to the guy we stole it from, there might be an issue.
That looks really familiar.
Yeah.
Correction, we need honest income so we don't get executed when we inevitably get caught.
Yeah.
It's always fun to see how long it takes you to get executed for stealing stuff all the time, though. All right, so what we say this downtime is, how long do you guys want to spend in town sorting stuff out in between? In the meantime, clearly, like you go to the halls of the lawgiver, Byra comes back to Honoured Beer while you're in your downtime working. The I can't remember what his name was. The main red cloak guy that you met is so impressed that you got the Ettercap and the Manticores and saved Byra. What did I actually say? He was going to give you like 200 gold, no, 20 gold each or something? I can't even remember now.
He said
I think it was 50 per person.
If we succeeded in bringing Byra back, 10 gold ahead. If we succeeded in getting Byra back and slaying the Manticore, I think he said 20 gold ahead.
Alright, I will actually up it to 50 gold ahead because of the Ettercap as well, because you've aided the King's, like, in keeping the King's Forest to, you know, whatnot. So, 250 gold all up.
Nice.
Distribute to everyone. There you go. And we'll leave the main course blokes there. And I will do a little further. What are we looking at? Each of you gains, for the adventures around the town, plus handing in all of those, each of you gains an extra 200 XP, which will bring you up to level 4.
Oh.
So between now and next week, you can level up, and that will bring us up to starting the actual campaign. So this downtime will grant you that. What I'll get you to do is we'll say it's a week. You guys spend a week in town
Mhm.
doing your various things. You're going to be working on trade every day, Baron. So what I'll get you to do is give me 6 more Smith's Tools rolls.
Alrighty. And will there be flat or with advantage? Flat, I'm assuming.
Flat for these ones.
Question, and you can absolutely tell me no.
Oh boy.
Assuming we get long rests and stuff for the days.
Yeah,
If I were to take guidance, could I add guidance to those rolls?
of course you can, because it's a spell you can add that each
Okay.
day. Yes, you can add the D4 to your roll.
I'd always rather ask than just do it and look like a dick for nickel and diming as
Yeah,
much as I
yeah.
can.
Yeah, it's all right. Like you would be asking because realistically, guidance is just you asking. It seems like, oh yeah, reorcs, guide my hammer.
Oh, I need it. We add D4. Yeah, 11 for the
Probably didn't help
first.
as much.
Oh, that's not bad.
That one was
With
good.
a
That one was good.
D4, that could be.
Nice.
That's not bad.
26.
It's still good. Yeah.
Still
D4.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
No, 18 in a row, 2 tries in a row. Nice, nice. Let's see what we get on the D4.
Okay.
1 3 times in a row.
Well,
Yeah.
Baron loves rolling ones.
really
It's
does.
his favorite
Sure
number.
do.
Sure does.
Somebody
It
told me it was
must
number
be
1.
his favorite number.
I can only inspire you so much, Baron.
Now's the time to roll a. Oh my
Good lord! I
How do-
cannot roll above a 1. I swear.
Oh,
Okay, so that's
that's a
1, 2,
1
3,
3 times, 4 times, 4 times in a
2
row.
more.
The algorithm's
Oh,
broken.
that's not bad.
If it's another one, whoa,
Oh,
there we
we
go.
got a
Hey,
2.
it's
We
not
got
a
a
1.
2.
It's not a
We got a
1.
2.
Oh, not 1 but 2.
Working our way up.
Climb the ladder. Climb the ladder.
Oh, another.
Here comes another 2.
Another 13 for 20. Oh, we
Oh.
got a 4 that time.
I will take that.
All right.
So it's 11, 13, 26, 26, 22, 24. Majority above 20. I'll take that.
All right. So most of the week you do pretty good work. A couple of things aren't as great as they could be that he gives you to do. So he's very impressed because you've produced some really excellent stuff for him during the week. So he's going to pay you an extra 50 gold for the week
Ooh.
in the stuff
Okay.
that you've made, because it's like he's got you making the high quality stuff.
Yeah. Fair enough.
That he's selling to nobles and shit. So he's making a fortune. So Tobith, how many shops do you knock over during the week?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't knock over anything. I just wander around and things fall in my pockets. Just like my friend Skip here, the ring.
Oh my god.
Everyone else can have a think probably during the week what they wanted to do during their downtime, and we'll do some rolls for that right up like front next session. And if
Sounds good.
Magnus can do the same, yeah, just think what you wanted to do around the town. If there's anywhere like, oh, I'd like to see this or that or the other, let me know during the week, and I can find out if that exists in the town, because obviously 130 plus or 131 locations in town, it's kind of hard to let you know what everything is.
Yeah, for sure. I do know Finley will like to do a couple of things during the week. Most notably spending time to ask around about Tobith's sister and the symbol. So, if that's something
And
you
Tobit's
wanted
going to
to
spend time at the magic shop as well. Just back, or not the shop, rather, at the Temple of Magic.
All right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
And then
Sorry, you go.
he said, and then also crafting some things with his woodcarver's tools.
All right.
A lot of Alark will be doing is wandering around the city, getting to know it, and getting to know its people, and striking up conversations casually with anybody who's like willing to conversate with them. Just kind of learn how the denizens live here.
All right. I'll work that out as well. I might give you, say, maybe you meet a number of. Actually, we'll do that now. You meet a number of contacts. We'll get a roll for each day for the 6 days as well. What will we roll? I'm trying to think what would be best for this. Let me have a look at the.
But just do straight charisma checks, or I don't know. Um, yeah, not sure.
Let's make it persuasion. I mean, it's charisma anyway, but you probably got a bonus in there being
Yeah,
your.
all right.
Yeah, well, yeah, persuasion.
Okay, how many rolls?
6.
6. Oof.
Mm.
3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay,
All right,
not bad.
so on your 6 days of traveling around talking to people, you make 4 contacts in town. People that you meet that you converse with long enough to actually make their acquaintance and possibly get either work from them or just knowledge from them at some later point. I will figure out whom that will be.
Okay.
Nice.
Let's. Alright, we're gonna go for a start. On day 1, you meet this guy. You might want to keep the. Might want to note these down in a note too.
Yeah, I'm putting it under allies and organizations.
Alright, so you meet Kegri
Yeah.
Iron Sinew, who introduces himself as a former adventurer. He's a dwarf, wearing quite nice looking armor. He also runs a smithy for magical armor. Likes Morning Stars the best for himself, and says if you ever need anything in the way of magical armor and arms, then he's the man to see. And he looks you up and down and says, and maybe once the King's Games is on, I'll see you in the melee. Being that he participates every year in the actual tournament.
Huh.
The next guy you meet is this guy.
Whoa.
Bandaro Astrizal. He is famous chef. He he runs a company called Choosy Otiug Culinary Treats. He makes exquisite and he's the sort of guy that does the whole quail's eggs and duck's testicles sorts of.
Exotic foods, got it.
Yeah. He also mentions that if you're interested, he is in the next few days. Well, within this week that you're there, he will be in a competition with another chef called Ozar the Exquisite, who is a half ogre chef, to prepare the best meal for the princess, with the winner of the competition being invited to prepare the food for the king, queen, and princess during the king's games. And if you would like, he would be honoured if you would come along and witness the competition.
Sounds exciting. If I have the time, I will see if my companions are interested as well.
Mm.
The next one you actually meet, you meet three um, goblins. Well, very well dressed goblins.
Weeze and Maggle.
Yep.
There,
And they introduce
there.
themselves as the Goldtooth family, the only goblin noble family in town, who live in a ramshackle looking villa that looks like somebody tried to rebuild it at some stage, but they got like halfway through and just stopped. So it looks like it was made from 6 or 7 different buildings, and like some of the balconies, like, you know, they don't have rails on one side, or they're on an angle, or there's one place in the building where there's a staircase going up to nothing, and you're sure one of the buildings is leaning over to the side, and they introduce themselves um, as they're a noble family from a town called Gonshar, which is in on this continent. I will actually switch to the Eglerion map and find Gonshar for you. Where are you? Oh, it's around there somewhere.
Compare to it.
It's been a little while since I've done this. One. Why didn't I link that from there? I should have linked that from there. I was going to mark it on your map, but I can't find it.
No worries.
Sure, was it there? I will find it at some point and link it, because I cannot right now find it, unless it's that one. But their brother is the lord of the town, and yeah, if you're ever in town, look him up, sort of thing.
Thank you, I shall.
And then the last one you meet is this woman.
Ooh.
She looks you over and gives you a card and invites you to visit sometime at her business, Loud and Lusty, which is one of the many brothels in the city.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Darn it.
She's very charming, and she's the matron of the brothel. She doesn't work there so much as she
Oh, but sorry.
But she does say if you ever need anything, you can look her up. She's very impressed with you. Likes herself a man in uniform. And I think that is
Thank you.
your full contacts. So
Yes,
keep
thank you,
keep
madam.
keep note of them.
Yep,
They will
I've gotten it down.
they will come in important at some point. So yeah, Finley, work out what you're going to do in terms of carving for the week. Tobith, are you doing anything in particular for the week?
At this point, I'm writing my journal, which will take a while, and because lots of exciting stuff has happened, of course. And I'm going to be I'm going to look into some of the darker areas. I'm going to see if I can find a district of the town where maybe little people like me might live and work. Find
All
out
right,
info about Belty.
all right. Yep, I'll have a look during the week and look at a
Sure.
couple of areas for you to investigate. All right, so I think we'll finish up there. We'll just go over um, first. Who do we think should get inspiration for this session?
I'd nominate Finley. Finley took the lead in the hunt. Uh, really kind of stepped up for that.
And he also put up with Tobith, which is great.
Yeah, that alone.
Twas a
Yeah,
pleasure.
I'll go Finley.
All right,
Thank you.
Finley, you can add yourself a point of inspiration for your putting up with Tobith and leading the hunt. And not dropping your bow and running away when Tobith did that shot that was just like, how did that even happen?
yeah. Finley, shaking his head. But still putting up with it. Like, Hobith, I think, kind of amuses Finley more than anything.
Yeah. Now stars and wishes. Things you found good and things you wish for being in there.
I'm enjoying that you're able to figure stuff out on the fly for us. It's been great as we're going to wherever we're going, and you allow us to do what we're doing, which is great.
Yep.
Yeah.
It does help to
Agreed,
have.
yeah.
It really does help to have converted the thing 4 times. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I do enjoy the little bit of improv, you know. Um, I'm enjoying just being a ranger again. This was like a full circle to my roots. My very first character was actually a ranger. I haven't played a ranger since, but I like I don't know. I like my force guy,
Yeah. No,
and
a lot of people don't like rangers, and I quite like rangers, but okay.
yeah, they don't get a lot of love, which is kind of a shame, I think, personally.
Oh, look, I mean, a lot of their
Um,
subclasses are a bit subpar. Is the problem?
yeah, yeah,
Or at least I was discussing
but
it with somebody a couple of weeks ago, and I said the problem isn't with Ranger isn't that the subclasses are subpar so much as the subclasses are subpar until you're like level 11. And since most campaigns
yeah,
happen between like 3 and 12,
they just get really shafted. Just
it's like Horizon Walker. Uh,
yeah,
when you're at the high levels, fantastic subclass. You can blit around the map like a crazy person, smacking everything in the head. You don't even have to take Hunter's Mark because the Horizon Walker version of that is way better and can just be used every round. Um, like it's great, but at level like 4, it sucks. It does nothing.
yeah. And sometimes it can be hard choosing a subclass for ranger for that reason. I was like was really tempted to do Gloomstalker, but I don't know.
Hunter and Gloomstalker
It,
seems to be the two favorites, as far as I can see.
yeah. But I went with I went with the monster or hunter because it made a lot of sense for Finley. Just the direction the campaign seems to be going at this point, and his background. So
Won't hurt. Anything else anybody liked, wish to see?
No, I think I'm quite pleased with this session, and I'm sorry for my
Yeah.
tardiness.
It's all right. It happens. I just assumed like it was getting close to time. Like somebody thinks it's either somebody thinks this is an hour later than it's meant to be, or like just something's happened. It's all good.
No. I was helping my wife with the session, and I went to go lay down and like relax my back because it was like hurting me. Next thing I knew, I'm like out.
My wife always got a thing. I can't lie. She's like, she'll see me walk towards the bedroom, and she's like, "Middle of the day, man. No, don't lie down. You'll be asleep. Like 5 seconds, you'll be gone." Yeah, it's so true. So true. I'll just be.
Yep.
true. Especially the older you get.
Oh yeah.
My only wish would be, and I'm going to get on Magnus about it, is that Magnus does not put family before game.
Yeah, come on, Magnus. Get your priorities straight.
Yeah.
Family's forever. Games are only for now. Yeah, no. Family always comes first.
For sure. Yes.
Alrighty, I think we'll finish up there. Thank you everyone for playing. I'm glad that's going well. There is a little bit of me that's like, am I too railroady here? Am I like, and
No, not at
and
all.
and I was getting a little bit lost in Scene Monder's voice, which I decided on the spot. I'm not 100% sure what accent I was going for, but I was going for something.
It sounded perfect.
It's good. Good.
Considering the bows in
Good.
his beard, I would have rather heard some kind of like little girly voice, but that's okay.
You don't want to hear me trying to do a little girly voice. It does not work. All right.
Oh dear.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
Have a good
guys.
night.
Yeah.
You
Thanks,
too.
Yeah,
guys.
thanks,
See ya.
Yeah.
thanks everybody.
Hi, everybody.
See you later.
Bye.